All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Raul Cepeda Jr. On behalf of Barcode's group in Honeywell, I'd like to thank you for attending our webinar today on how to eliminate chargebacks with barcode verification. We know your time is precious, and we hope you gain some valuable insights today into the solution that we'll be covering. We do have a Q&A feature available on this webinar, so please feel free to send us any questions, and we'll address them towards the end as time allows. At this point, I'd like to turn it over to Casey Moore, Honeywell's Customer Marketing Manager. Casey?
Hi, thanks everyone. Thanks, Raul, and welcome to our webinar around our PX940 verification printer. And with that, you can go ahead and go to the next slide. So here's a look at our agenda for today. We'll be going through some market trends and challenges. We'll go through what are hidden chargebacks, our product overview with the PX940. We'll also be going through our verification technology with one of our leading solutions architects, Hogan, and then we'll take you through a competitive analysis and we'll round it out with a Q&A. Next slide, please. So what are hidden chargebacks? So you may or may not be familiar with this term, but a chargeback happens when you are not compliant, when a shipment comes in that's not compliant and actually cannot be scanned by an overhead barcode reader. So what happens when a shipment comes in and it can't be scanned is it then requires the those in the receiving end to stop the workflow and manually, in some cases, manually scan the barcode, or if the barcode is unable to be scanned at all, they'll end up returning the shipment. And so the labels that are unable to be read are the biggest reasons for the chargeback. You can also see chargebacks come for early or late delivery, if there's a pricing error or also shortage in the product that's actually shipped. And so the chargebacks are sometimes referred to in the industry as hidden chargebacks because they normally just tack them on to the end of the invoice. And the chargebacks are normally based off of the size of the total invoice. And with that, we'll go to the next slide, please. So here's the average or estimated chargeback by vertical. So again, it will vary by industry. Naturally, with industries such as healthcare, where lives are on the line, it's very, very high compliance industries, the chargeback fees will be higher. Whereas in the retail industry and sometimes in warehouse and DC environments, they can be a little bit lower. But it really does vary by industry, but it also does vary by the total size of that invoice. So the larger the invoice in the shipment, the larger the hidden chargeback fee will be, and that's just due to the amount of time it will take to manually go through the shipment there because the barcodes are unable to be scanned and there's interruptions within the productivity and workflow. Next slide, please. And so the chargeback fees can cost anywhere between 15 to 20% of the total invoice. And so, for example, if you are shipping like for a medical device manufacturer, if you're shipping those devices and you have a shipment totaling anywhere from $100,000 to $200,000, and they receive the shipment and they're unable to identify what's inside of the shipment due to there's an error with the barcode, then that will automatically result in a chargeback fee, and that will be automatically deducted from the invoice that you receive. Next slide, please. So what is your solution to avoiding the hidden chargeback fees and the break in the workflow and productivity? The solution is our new Honeywell PX940 with an integrated label verifier. And so our PX940 is actually available in two different options. So we do have it without the verification option, but the best option for your solution to avoiding the hidden chargeback fees would actually be our PX940V, which includes our verification technology. And here's a picture of the printer. You'll see the window on the side there, so you're able to see the media. You'll see the touch screen there for PC, so for easy setup and configuration, no need to connect it to a PC there. We have the smart print capabilities with the PX940. Next slide, please. And so here's a little bit more around our PX940. So as I mentioned, we have it available in two separate options, so the PX940A and the PX940B. It supports all of our major print languages, so IPL, DPL, fingerprint as well. And it comes in up to 600 DPI and 14 inches per second. So this is an industrial size printer. And so it can print the 10,000 labels in an 8-hour shift. So this is perfect for high performing work environments, especially warehouse DC solutions, any manufacturing solutions, any manufacturing workflows as well. So we have a few of our target verticals there on the right-hand side. We have our automotive part suppliers, medical device manufacturers, shipping and DC, transportation and logistics, pharmaceutical and e-commerce and retail. With the verifier option, so with our PX940V, we're estimating that you can have an average cost savings of anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000, and that is really based on the size of those potential hidden chargeback fees that you can receive. Because when you have the PX940V, you have the option, every label that is printed is verified, and you know that it passed the quality testing. And so you will eliminate the risk of having any of those hidden chargeback fees. We also have an extremely precise printing with the PX940. So this is perfect for small labels. For example, with an auto part supplier or like a medical device manufacturing, we have a really high registration there. And so we're able to print high quality labels and barcodes on even your smallest print jobs. And then, as I mentioned previously, the PX940 also has smart print capability. So right out of the box, you're able to plug your printer into an outlet, turn it on. You'll get in the box, you'll get a calibration card that will help you calibrate the verifier. Once you configure it on the screen, calibrate the verifier, you're immediately ready to start that print job there. So very easy setup, no PC required, no external verifier required either. Next slide, please. So here are really four main reasons why you should purchase the PX940. So first and foremost, the integrated label verification technology. So this is a guarantee for error-free printing. So this is your solution and answer to avoiding those fines and hidden chargeback fees, as well as lawsuits and compliance areas. It is compatible with operational intelligence, which is our predictive analytics software. The precision printing, so perfect for your small labels. You can still do the barcodes on the smallest label and make sure that they're quality barcodes. If you think about in the healthcare industry, any of the medicine bottle or medicine vials, you can put the small labels that are needed for that can be printed on the PX940. And in the healthcare, there are a lot of compliance requirements. And so the PX940 will be perfect for that, because you can make sure that you can avoid any of those chargeback fees. And then lastly, it's able to support many of our print languages. So that makes it an easy install to replace our Zebra and other competitors, but also it makes it a competitive product for any install base. And so the PX940 really offers a wide range of solutions to, one, increase your productivity in any workflow with that 10,000 labels and 8-hour shift. So this is perfect for the really heavy print jobs that you have, but also adding that extra feature of the integrated verifier. What that does is just, again, helps you save money, and then also ensuring that each of the labels that's printed is high quality. Next slide, please. So a little more around our operational intelligence software and why this is a value add for you. And so the PX940 is compatible with our operational intelligence software. And what this is, it's a predictive analytics software that provides you with the information around the analytics around the print jobs that your printer is doing. Also, it provides information around your printer health and maintenance. So this proactive data allows for your printer to have a longer life cycle and really helps you with managing all of your entire printer fleet. It also manages usage behaviors as well as providing those predictive analytics to ensure that you have a lower cost of ownership. Next slide, please. And with that, I'll pass it over to our solutions architect, Hogan, who is a solutions architect on the Honeywell team and also one of our lead print specialists. Hogan?
Yeah, thank you, Casey. So my name is Hogan, and I'm a printer SA at Honeywell. And the first thing that may come to mind if you're looking at scanning a barcode is, well, we all know that we can buy scanners today that read poor print quality. So why do we even need to worry about the print quality if the scanners can already read those? And the reason is a few reasons behind that. First of all, not all scanners are built the same. So just because, let's say, your scanner that you have as a supplier might scan a given barcode, it doesn't necessarily mean that the customer's scanner will be able to scan a poorly printed barcode. The other one is that you have different use cases for scanners. So for instance, you might be in one situation where you have a scanner that's for low volume and you're scanning piece by piece as they come in, and you have the ability to rescan and so forth. Another use case might be a conveyor belt where you don't have the ability to rescan a barcode that doesn't scan well. And there you get a scan failure. And those will require a higher print quality grade than scanning a barcode manually. So if you do need a higher print quality grade for those, you'll also need a way to measure them. And then we have a third reason. We covered that some scanners can be set to scan poorly printed barcodes. But the truth remains that the scanner can only see what's on the paper. So if you're scanning a barcode that has some defects on it, perhaps some black spots where you should be a white space, then that can be seen as a different barcode character if you have white spaces and black areas and so forth. The most serious case that I can recall is with a medical supplier running blood vials who came to me and said, Hogan, this barcode scanned incorrectly. A J came out as opposed to a digit, as a for instance. So I verified the barcode and I said, yes, that is a grade D barcode. You can definitely see data substitution in your barcode if you're down to a grade D level. Okay, so that's why we have grading. Now you also have numeric and alpha on your grading. So for instance, you can say that you have a grade A barcode, just like a school grade, A, B, C's, and D's and so forth. But then why do we have numbers? That's going to be a little bit clearer as we continue on. However, if you have a 3.6 as a numeric grade A, then you know that you're hovering on maybe receiving a grade B barcode. Now, grade A's and grade B's are going to scan very well, but a customer may say, look, we're on an unmanned scanning situation, so we require a grade A. And in that case, if you are at 3.6, you might want to try to just increase that quality a little bit more to be to the maybe 3.8, 3.9, or even 4.0 if that's possible. I wonder if we can have the next slide, please. Okay, so there are a number of areas that are measured. So I might want to mention that the way that we verify barcode print quality today dates back to 1990. It is a third attempt at getting a properly working measurements for print quality. There were two others that preceded the 1990 standard, but this is the one that's stuck, and it's been around now for 30 years, and it works very well. Its whole purpose was to simulate basically what a scanner, how a scanner works. And so there are different reflectance parameters that we look at. RMIN basically talks about if you measure how black a black bar is, that gives a percentage. You may say, okay, black is supposed to be a total void of light, right? Okay, well, this has 2% of light reflected back. So if I scan a light beam at that black bar in a barcode, how much comes back into the scanner? And if you get, thermal transfer printing, you'll get between 2% to about 11 or 12% back. Rmax is the background color of your label. So it can be white, or it could be green or yellow or whatever. And that'll affect the barcode print quality. You have something called a symbol contrast, which is next on the list there. So that's if you actually take the percentage measurement of how white your or how bright your background is minus how dark your print is. So it's basically the light minus the dark gives you a symbol contrast. And the edge contrast that you see below that tells you what the contrast is between adjoining elements, between a bar and a space. So if you have, let's say, a print defect or for some or whatever reason, a label is a little darker in one area than it is in another area, that'll show up in the edge contrast. Modulation comes next, and these are in a nice order. Modulation is a layman's way of, well, a highly technical way of saying, I guess, what a layman would say, how easy is it to differentiate it or to get the transition point from a bar to a space and a space to a bar? So how easy is it to see where you're going from your dark elements to your light elements in the barcode? And then we go to defects. And this is where you might see some black spots within your spaces in a barcode, or you might see some white dots in the bars of a barcode. That's what defects refer to. And that becomes really important depending upon how high density your barcodes are. So if you have, let's say, small little defects, small little white dots in the barcode, however, you're printing very low density, those defects aren't going to be noticed very much by the scanner, and they're not going to really affect your print quality. But those same spots, if you're printing high density, would have a huge effect on your print quality, because now you can, potentially get data substitution errors in your barcode. So let's see what else we have here. The one thing that I should stress is that not all formats, not all label layouts that you're printing can be printed at the highest print speed for a printer. Okay, so you have to set up your print speed and your heat temperatures and so on in your printer properly, and that's something that we can definitely help out with if needed. Just having a device that tells you how good you are is not necessarily going to fix the problem, right? It's like saying I want it to be warm and I have a thermometer. Well, it's not necessarily going to be warm. It just tells you what the temperature is. So then those issues have to be fixed. There are a couple of things I want to mention on that. Colored labels. The background of a label has to be at least 50% reflectivity. And if they're darker than that, you're going to see a failure. And again, we can assist you if that's the issue. But I've had people coming to me and they say, hey, look at this label. It's printing perfectly, and yet I'm getting a failure. And I see, yep, that's a very dark green, deep forest green. That's not going to scan. That's going to give you a failure. Try to go with a much lighter green as an example. I had another company call me and they said, look at this barcode. It's printing perfectly. The edges are straight. It's beautiful the way it's printing. And of course, I said, well, send me the barcode and I'll have a look at it. And of course, they had some coding issues that I found, and they were programmatically creating failing barcodes. They thought it was a problem with the barcode. But anyway, let's continue on before we get into too many weeds here. So basically, how does the barcode scanner determine what grade your barcode is. So to be in line with the standard, it makes 10 scans across the height of a barcode. So 10% down the barcode each time. And looking at all of those, that criteria that we had there, the modulation, the edge contrast, and so on, it will grade each one there and then give you a grade for each one, and the worst one becomes the grade for that scan and so forth, and the average becomes the average for the barcode. That's where you get the numbers to. It'll divide it 3.5 by 10 or whatever and come up with a sample. So you can go to the next one, perhaps. Next, okay, it's Casey, back to you.
Oops, sorry, took a second to get off of
Yeah.
get off here. Sorry about that. Thank you, Hogan, for the review of what are the verification technology. So here's a bit of a competitive assessment around our verifier. So as Hogan reviewed, the grading system we have there, the automatic void and reprint. So for example, if you are in the middle of a print job, say you have 50 labels going, you're printing 50 labels, say you get to label 24 and it does a verification and it realizes that the label doesn't pass. So it actually will take the label back in. So with the take up row, it will void it out. So we'll put like a grid pattern on it, void it out, and then it'll start the job right where it left off at label 24 and continue through label 50. So we'll void that for you so you know not to use that one and reprint it and continue the job without any interruptions there. We also have the smart verification. So the no computer is required to set that up. So right out of the box, what you have is a white card that is a calibration card. And so that calibration card is all you need to set up the verifier. So once you can set that up with the screen, the colored touchscreen on the left-hand side of the printer, you'll be able to set up that verifier there. Next slide, please. And then here's a look at another competitive assessment, but with the printer on the hardware side. So our closest competitor to the PX940 is actually the ZT600. This is also an industrial printer, high performing printer in that high performance category there. The key differentiator there is the verifier, of course. So Printronix also offers a printer with an external verifier, so that's an added cost there. With the PX940, that cost for the PX940B includes the verifier because it is integrated into the hardware. The PX940 also has a label voiding, as I mentioned, which our Zebra competitors in their industrial portfolio does not actually have that capability. And then we stand out from all of our competitors by having that smart calibration. So no PC is required to set up or calibrate the printer. Everything you need is right in the box as soon as you get it. You're able to quickly set it up and begin testing and printing with the PX940. So the PX940 can print up to 14 inches per second. And so this is really ideal, again, in those high performing work environments, those workflows that will need those 10,000 labels in an 8-hour shift. Next slide, please. So there's, again, a head-to-head. Wanted to share just a very clear view of a head-to-head, how we stack up against the ZT600. So they actually, with the ZT600, you can attach a verifier externally, but with the PX940, no need to do that, no need to spend that extra money where you can pay one single price and you'll have the verifier integrated into the printer there. We do offer the software, the operational intelligence software there. We have the smart print capability, and this is a very easy to use and easy to set up printer right out of the box. Everything you need is there, and that colored touchscreen is there for you to set up and configure the printer. Next slide, please. And so media, what media is best for this printer? Wanted to highlight one of our product families in our media portfolio. We have our XL series. And so this is available in four different products there. We have the Duratherm XL, the Duratherm XL Cold Temperature, Duratran XL, and then our Duratran Lean. And so the key selling points here, we have the reduced downtime, so the additional length of the rolls that allows it to operate longer with less changeover there. We have our deliveries in fewer boxes with more labels per box, so less shipments there. And we're also reducing the carbon footprint with the materials that we're using for the XL series. So this is the XL products are thinner materials that really just provide those opportunities for you on the freight saving, downtime, and reducing the carbon footprint. Next slide, please. And with the PX940, wanted to also mention a very cool feature that we have with the PX940. So we actually have a media saving feature that allows the printer to self-calibrate on the media. And so you can save an estimated cost savings of about $6,000 per printer in media costs because it's able to retract that unused media. So when you load the media in, you won't waste any of it. It actually will self-calibrate, retract back in, and then begin the print job. So some of the printers on the market, actually, as you're setting up and calibrating the printer, the media is oftentimes wasted. And so we want to lower the cost of ownership for you. So that means not spending as much money on the media you need for this printer. And so we have that self-calibrating capability there. And so again, saving you about $6,000 in media costs per printer. And that is also dependent upon the usage and the work, the print jobs, the typical print jobs on the printer. Next slide, please. And with that, I will pass it back over to Raul. Thank you so much for your time today. If you have any questions, please feel free to let us know. Raul?
Thanks, Casey. So now that you've learned a little bit about Honeywell's verification offering, you might be asking yourself how Barcode's group fits into the whole solution. So as a platinum partner of Honeywell, our different Barcode's group entities offer design, deploy, and support services required to get these solutions implemented, maintained, and supported. So from a design and deployment standpoint, we have a professional services team that can conduct on-site assessments that enable you to design a customized solution based on your specific environment. We then work with Honeywell to develop and integrate a full verification printing solution to meet your needs and alleviate any pain points you might have. From a support standpoint, for all deployed hardware, whether it's the printing, mobility, scanning, we can offer our true support services, which include a mix of help desk, configuration, staging, kitting, and other value-added services. We also have a very experienced services staff to deliver troubleshooting and repair services for most of the equipment. And then lastly, we are North America's largest supplier of labels, ribbon, printhead, and other consumables, and can even offer a supported managed print services model for your business. Ultimately, our goal is to partner with you and your operation to keep you up and running. But more importantly, we want to maintain your environment with some future-proof technologies like those that you saw today. So at this point, we're going to turn it over to questions that you might have. I know we're a little bit over, so I want to be respectful of everyone's time. Casey, you have access, I believe, any questions there?
Yep, and I'm pulling it up now. And I don't see any at this time, but I actually did want to just make a note because I have gotten this question before. If they buy the PX940A, which is without the verification, if they can add it, is the verifier field installable? And it's actually not. So I have gotten that question quite a few times. If you purchase the PX940A, that's without the verification, you will not be able to upgrade it to the B. And so my recommendation, because we do see the industry moving in this direction towards verification and having that capability, my recommendation would be to go ahead and purchase the PX940B that already has the integrated verifier, because with the A, it does not come with that. The A is just your standard industrial printer.
All right. Well, thank you for that, Casey. So again, on behalf of Barcodes Group and Honeywell, I'd like to thank you all for joining our webinar today on how to eliminate chargebacks with barcode verification. If you do have any further questions or would like one of our experts to reach out for a free consultation or even a demo, please feel free to reach out to your preferred solution provider here on the screen. Or you can feel free to reach out to me directly. My contact information is there on the screen as well, with any questions you might have. So thanks again for joining, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your week. Thank you.